Now, returning to our top story and the ongoing situation in Libya, Human Rights Watch says Gaddafi troops are responsible for executing prisoners in the final days of the brutal regime. Omar al-Issawi is the Human Rights Watch Advocacy Director for Middle East and North Africa, and he joins us now from New York. Good morning and thanks for your time. What have you been able to piece together about the circumstances behind this massacre at that Tripoli warehouse?
It's good to be with you, Michael. Unfortunately, what we have uncovered in Libya is just not limited to what happened in that warehouse. But to talk about that warehouse specifically, we've had eyewitness reports that shots were fired from the tin roof on dozens upon dozens of prisoners in there, while grenades were being thrown from the door at the prisoners inside. And after that, what we had was execution-style killings of wounded people on the ground over there. At the same time, we have been able to establish that this was being used by the 32nd Brigade of the Khamis Brigades. That is, Khamis is the son of Colonel Gaddafi. We've also had other instances where we've had extrajudicial killings take place at an internal security service loyal to Colonel Gaddafi, as well as other locations. These have not targeted military detainees. They have not targeted military prisoners. Lots of civilians were involved. As a matter of fact, the majority of those killed have been civilians.
Are these but examples of what you fear are much wider abuses of human rights in the dying days of the Gaddafi regime?
Well, Michael, I mean, the bodies are piling up. What we have seen is, and what we have witnessed, what we have documented, been able to document on the ground over there, is that in the final days before the fall of Tripoli to the rebels, Colonel Gaddafi's forces were seemingly engaged in liquidating people. We've had some of those killed in medical scrubs, dragged out of ambulances and shot, civilians who were shot, people with their hands bound behind their backs and killed. These are cowardly murders, and under international humanitarian law, if this is part of a pattern of systematic killing, then this can very well constitute a war crime.
And what would you like to see therefore happen to those responsible for these killings?
Obviously, we would want them brought to justice, which is why we are working very hard on the ground right there at the moment in order to document everything that's going on. We're also advising the National Transitional Council in Tripoli at the moment to meticulously keep a record of everything that is happening, and also to preserve and protect the records from other areas in Libya, because this should not go unpunished, this cowardly crime.
This is a particularly ugly conflict, as you well know. Have you uncovered any examples of rebel forces in their desire for revenge also committing human rights abuses?
We have cited the rebel forces in the past for violations of human rights. As a matter of fact, we have a commander of the rebels talking about abusing Gaddafi prisoners, pro-Gaddafi prisoners. So we are basically trying to monitor the situation as best as we can, and we are encouraging on an almost daily basis the Rebel Council right now to make sure that human rights and humanitarian laws are respected. And we'd also like to point out that we are advocating at the moment that the advance on the so-called pro-Gaddafi areas, such as Sirte's hometown, must take into account the preservation of the life and human rights of civilians in those areas. There is no place at the moment for retribution. We hope that what is happening in Libya right now will constitute a break with the dark days of Colonel Gaddafi and the serious human rights abuses during his days. And this is a tremendous opportunity for the rebels to prove that they are upholders of these high human values.
And just finally and briefly, Omar al-Issawi, with reports yesterday circulating that thousands, if not tens of thousands of Libyans are missing and haven't been found as rebel forces advance on pro-Gaddafi areas. Does that tally with your analysis of the situation?
Well, it is very difficult to put a number on the number of missing or disappeared. This is a fluid situation. Prisons have been opened up. Prisoners have managed to maybe get back home, be reunited with their families, and there isn't exact reporting at the moment of the number of the disappeared. What we do know was that there were arbitrary detentions, that there was widespread maltreatment of prisoners, beatings, electric shock, even sexual violence against them, but it is premature right now to put a number on those who disappeared or went missing during the conflict. This is something we're going to be keeping a very close eye on.
Okay, Omar al-Issawi from Human Rights Watch, thank you very much for your time this morning.
You're welcome.